Hey everyone, I hope y'all are doing alright this morning. I didn't realize how tired I looked. I've been up for a couple hours, but anyways, I was gonna rattle off a couple numbers that I've saw in some articles and kind of give my 2 cents or just some thoughts I've had about it. And if y'all stick around, I'm gonna be putting some clips from last night's event at the end of the video. But anyways, I woke up and kind of opened up the phone and read this article, skimmed through it, didn't thoroughly read it, but it was enough to get the idea of what was going on. And that is that the Treasury was, they borrowed, we'll just say, like over 500 billion, so half a trillion, over half $1 trillion for the first quarter. And didn't get the exact numbers for what they were planning on borrowing this quarter, the second quarter. There's articles out there claiming they're on track to borrow over $2 trillion this year, and so we'll see what happens. They mentioned one segment in this article mentioned, since taxes come in April, that they don't got to borrow as much. But there's also I say refunds as if, don't get me started on that. But it's like that was our money to begin with. What do you mean refund? But or rebate or whatever that you return, But anyways, so back in 2007, I was looking and we were around like the government was in debt $9 trillion. And just to kind of get a perspective, $2 trillion, that's almost 20% of just what they were in debt. Not even, 15, a little over, like 20 years ago, and now we're sitting at 40 basically, or the government's sitting at 40 trillion dollars. So it's grown $30 trillion in the last 20 years, so about a $1.5 trillion. And that's, anyway, the point is it's a lot of money. And guess who's going to be on the hook for that? Because I just wanted to show like a pattern here, or like kind of help illustrate a pattern here. So you look at the price of metals and then stocks and all this stuff, and like, say, just for an example, silver could have been, I don't even know, I didn't look, but $10, $15, what have you. And, around 2011 or so, it peaked out probably around $50, and then came back down. But I guess what I'm really trying to illustrate here is the amount of debt and then the cost of living here now to this day compared to what it was 20 years ago. If you go to the store, if some of y'all remember, like, say 20 years ago, and you could go in and get like a nice steak, for, probably a huge steak for probably like $8 or something like that, or $10, depending on the cut or whatever. We're talking like a huge steak, not like a little 8-ounce, or half, a quarter, we're not talking $20 a pound. We're talking about like a 2.5 pound steak or something, and I don't remember the numbers. This is so long ago, but I just remember going, me, my brother, and a friend, we would sometimes get together and go to the store to go get, some steaks and come back and cook it out, cook out. And so I know that, like, it would be like no thing for us to go down there and then, like, $6 for a nice good steak. You're lucky to even find something on sale for that now. But anyways, we're talking about $4 a pound or something probably. But either way, you get the idea. And so So now we're I mean, y'all know what it costs to go to the grocery store now, and so you see this amount of debt that the government's in. You see the cost of living, and I don't know if y'all noticed this, but it seems like every 6 months or so, it seems like the cost of food is increasing. I mean, I remember here, I've been living at this place for since the fall of 23, so almost 3 years. And when I first moved here, there's a store about a mile up the road, and I would get chuck roast for $3.99 a pound on sale. That same chuck roast, the same store, is like $6.99 the last time I bought it on sale, if I'm not mistaken. Could be $5.99. Maybe I saw it for $6.99 and I didn't buy it. But either way, it's like $6 or $7 a pound from $4 a pound. Do the math. That's 50 to 75% increase in 3 years. So, and then and you see how they're doing these budgets are, basically getting farther in debt, $500 billion this quarter. And so it's like just connecting the dots. You see this pattern of where we're going, and I was like talking to my my mom and then her husband and like my uncle yesterday, kind of at a family, like a Mother's Day lunch, even though it was yesterday. And then my cousin, he's like a couple months younger than me, and he has kids. Like one of them was just turned 1, and the other one's like 3 or so. I don't know exactly. But either way, they got some young kids, young babies, basically. And I'm sitting here thinking like, this is what's in store for them. And this is what's in store for y'all's kids and their kids. And I don't see why anyone's not questioning or like saying, hey, what the hell is going on here? This has to stop, because at the end of the day, I mean, I don't see how this is even sustainable. I mean, what is this going to look like? I mean, people are like, oh, yeah, it's expensive now. Wait in 10 years from now. Wait until they're out of college or out of at least high school or whatever, and they're trying to work. Unless someone just, unless people have like assets to pass down to their kids, if you're starting at a baseline, like, yeah, you could probably find a good job and whatnot and work your way up. But if everyone was like that, man, it's just a grind. It's a grind. And like the only people that are really like got it somewhat easy probably, and I'm talking about financially, I'm not talking about mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or whatever. I'm talking about just strictly monetarily, is the people that have money already. The people came from money, or their family are like, what people would say working class, but people that actually have like homes. Like I remember literally like that house, there's 3 or 4 TCU ball players that live there, baseball players. And like, not to say like I this isn't to like, come off like jaded or anything like that. And it's all, I wish them the best, and I'm glad that people are able to have families that have money. I'll just say this, that they're all driving like brand new trucks and stuff like that, and if you go even around here, I mean, you see like students in Audis and Teslas, BMWs. There's some that drive some Toyotas and stuff like that, but there's also some that drive Toyota Tacomas, $50,000, $60,000 trucks. So I mean, that's all cool or whatever. But my point is unless you're coming from a family that has money, or you have money to pass down to your kids, like I don't understand why people aren't just questioning the reality of things, because that's what I was telling them basically. I was like, we could sit here and live a lie, but what good is that gonna do? I was like telling them basically that this is the uncomfortable truth. This is the reality of things. And I'm not trying to sound like super pessimistic or doomsday or anything like that. I'm just being real here. Like, if we can't like just talk about a real situation on what's going on without being like, kind of painted as this, like, oh, this guy's bad energy, or oh, he's just always negative. Man, I'm just trying to talk, have a conversation. Actually, that's the thing is like, if I had a plumbing leak in say, this isn't my house, I'm renting, but if I had a plumbing leak in a house, don't you think I need to know where it's coming from so I could fix the problem? I mean, that's the logic that we're talking about here. That some, there, I don't know what this disconnect is. So I'm not, but either way, yeah. So, I started seeing that, and I'm just like, man, this isn't good. And that's why I keep talking about saving money. Like I'm drinking coffee right now. Not right now, but I made a pot of coffee. You know what? That pot of coffee, a whole pot, like 12 cups or whatever, probably costs less than $1 to make, or I could go out and spend $2 or $3 or $4 or $5 on one cup, nah. Anyways, point is, I know what I'm trying to do, and I'm just trying to save. And like I said, I'm probably gonna be buying some silver this week. That's what I'm doing. So I do have a plan, or at least have a plan that I believe is gonna at least protect some of that purchasing power, because I don't think any of these selected officials and all these people are really telling us how the cow ate the cabbage. I don't think they're telling us the truth. And I don't remember the exact numbers, but I know looking back from we were in debt at $9 trillion back in 2007. Okay, that was the year of an election, or the inauguration, if I'm not mistaken. No, that wasn't. What year was that? That would have been 2008, and 9 would have been the inauguration. But anyways, the point is over those 8 years of that presidency, debt went up. There's quantitative easing, low rate, basically zero. I mean, and then in 2017 over the last few years of 2014 to 17, they started raising interest rates a little bit. And then the president around 2018 was screaming for rate cuts. This is before Corona. This is, so I don't know what was going on. Why do we need 0% rates then? And if y'all remember, y'all can look at charts. The fall or early winter of 2018. Excuse me. The I don't remember which market, but basically there was like a 15 to 20, maybe even 25%. I don't remember exactly, but I remember the some of the stock markets, like the big index funds, tanked, like down. I say tanked, but there's a bear market. There's like 20% or so. I mean, within a month or two, and this was like around the time of the and I don't know the I guess the exchanges between banks, something about the repos, not like your car's getting repoed. But either way, there was some stuff going on with the banks, and that was 2018 to 19, and then Corona. And then so rates were cut, of course, and money was sent out, or loaned. And so, I mean, the rest is history, but essentially over the last, 8 years, 10 years, we have seen exponential debt growth. And then what's been happening with cost of living in the last, 5 years, we're starting to see some of that now. And people want to say, and I'm not trying to say this person or that person, because quite frankly, I haven't voted since 2016, and I'm not going to vote because it's a sham. It's all a sham. Plus, if I'm a free person, if this is a free country, why do I want to vote for someone to control me? So, to each his own. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, you're right to believe this and they're wrong or whatever. Like people can believe whatever they want. I'm a free human being, and that's a whole other disconnect that I think some people are in. But hey, I digress. What I'm talking about though is back to the money. Is where was I going with that? Not trying to get political or anything like that. I remember people the whole Trump is having to borrow money because we have to build back up the arsenal that Obama depleted, and this and that, and like making excuses for some of this spending or debt. And then Corona came in and Biden was elected or selected, really, most likely. And then there was Corona, and then there was like another reasoning to spend money, to go into farther debt. And then now, what's the reason? There's going to be people probably saying, "Oh, well, this is all Biden's fault." He screwed up the economy, and so it's really weird that like the economy was so hot, so good, and then all of a sudden it went so bad because of Corona and Biden. And then I'm not even. This isn't a like. I wouldn't vote for any. Point is people probably like, oh, he's a Democrat or socialist, or he's for Biden. I get that all the time. And then that's another thing though. I'm kind of going off on a tangent. Is you can't even question one side or the other. Like you question this side, you're going to be lumped in this one. You question this side, you're going to be lumped in this category. Like, I was about to say bipolar. It's like a bipartisan extreme, or like so divided that you can't even logically question and analyze like what is going on here without being thrown into some category. Like that's the logic here, and everyone's saying, oh, they're brainwashed and they're brainwashed. It's like, I think both of y'all are. Like, sounds like a bunch of kids arguing. Just can't even be grown up and talk about stuff without like, it's like one side used to say, oh, facts over feelings, they can't handle the truth, and facts over feeling. And then when you start mentioning facts about something, then that side that used to claim that is now like, oh, Trump deranged syndrome, and all these other things. It's like, you can't even, like, I thought it was facts over feelings. Like, both sides would just name call depending on what you're questioning, what narrative you're questioning. But anyways, I digress. It's silly out there. Anyways, so basically, it's just, I guess where I was going is there's just tremendous amounts of spending, no logic behind it, and only justification depending on who's spending it and what side that person, and you can't even question it. And the American dream, for some is great. Like, I'm not really complaining here. Like, I'm able to have a roof over my head, AC or climate controlled or heated in the winter, I'm just trying to be real and like, hopefully, people will start to actually logically think about some of this stuff without just defending, their guy. This is gonna hurt y'all's kids, and not just y'all's kids, other people's kids. The country, the country that you're claiming that you love and this is for, and that all this like patriotic America first and whatever. It's like, if you can't have a logical discussion and put all these, like, this ego political shit aside, this isn't going to go anywhere. And if anything, it's going to go down for a lot of people. And so, anyways, I know I've kind of went on a tangent. I'm going to post attach some of the clips, not all of them. There's this one where this guy, I got raised up in a boom with this dude. We went up and got like an aerial view kind of like the event that was going on. And I don't think many people, only like maybe some of like a photographer, and then like maybe a few other people. And this is like a 10-day event, but I didn't see anybody go up there except for the photographer that I've kind of met here at this temple before. But anyways, so I got some pretty good pictures and video, and it was a cool experience because not many people, you know, could say that they were there, at least, you know, especially up in the boom. So it was really cool, and I'm appreciative of that. This is like a once in a lifetime kind of deal, really. They brought some Buddha relics from Sri Lanka that they've been holding for like 2,300 years or something like that. And so the first time they've ever left Sri Lanka. So the very first time that they let these artifacts come out of the country and into another country was this time, and they were here right in my, literally, like, you know, 20-minute drive from here in the backyard, basically. So really cool opportunity, and I would just encourage, keep saving, working hard, asking questions, and really thinking about some of this stuff, because this is the reality. I mean, we can sit here and ignore reality, but we can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. So anyways, I hope y'all have a good day. It's Mother's Day. I'm gonna go maybe visit my mom and grandma a little bit, and maybe take them out to coffee or something, see what they're up to. But anyways, I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all's weekend and Mother's Day, and I'll talk to you later. Nook, you said?
Duke.
How you spell that?
Duke, like John Wayne the Duke.
Oh, okay. Just me and Duke up here.